In today's recap of Undercover Boss, we bring you two exciting episodes featuring the best employees in Undercover Boss history. We'll first start with the CEO of Philly Pretzel Factory and then continue to the founder and president of Rocket Fizz as they find the best employees and reward them for their hard work. In our first episode, this boss will reward a great employee with a franchise spot.
We have a new kiosk version of our stores. I'm gonna put up all the money and open up a business together.
We first start with the founder and CEO of Philly Pretzel Factory, Dan.
I'm Dan Dizio, CEO and co-founder of Philly Pretzel Factory.
And the company is headquartered in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philly Pretzel Factory is the country's fastest growing pretzel franchise with 120 stores in the East Coast. Philly Pretzel Factory sells more than 100 million pretzels a year and makes $45 million in annual revenue. Philly Pretzels are located in 8 states, their most state being Pennsylvania, which sells 6 times more than other states, as people love pretzels in Philly, and Philly Pretzels provide great quality pretzels. Dan grew up in Philly, and when he was 11, a pretzel bakery opened in their neighborhood, and one day, when an order got cancelled, the owner asked Dan if he could sell the pretzels. Dan then took them and sold them on the street corners, and the owner was very impressed with Dan and asked to partner with him again, and this became a regular job for him, and Dan understood the business in time. After graduating college, Dan had a normal 9-to-5 job that he hated, and his roommate also hated his job, so Dan proposed that they quit their job and open a pretzel bakery. The two then invested their life savings and opened their first store in 1998. The business grew, and by 2004, they were opening a new store every year, and this was a good pace for them, but a friend advised them that they should start franchising if they wanted to grow faster. They then took the friend's advice, and now they have about 120 franchise spots. Dan is proud of what they've accomplished so far, but he believes that there's still room to grow, so he wants to go undercover and see how the stores are run and if the franchises are doing well. He'll be going undercover as Michael, a contestant on a reality show where he's gonna compete to get his own shop. For his first job, he travels to Bridgeton, New Jersey to work with a franchise owner.
Today I'm in Bridgeton, New Jersey. I'm here to work undercover with a franchisee.
He meets up with Bill and he takes him on the road to do a delivery. Dan came to the store because it was underperforming and he wants to know why, and while doing deliveries, he sees one of the problems. Dan sees the way Bill is doing delivery and it's not very cost effective, and he might even be losing money on some of the deliveries.
Successful for some franchisees, but what he brought in, maybe delivering $4 worth of pretzels, maybe it cost him $5.
They next work on making pretzel rolls, which is not something the company sells. Bill explains that since his business was not doing well, he's trying new kinds of pretzels, and this one is doing better than the others, and it's the reason his store is surviving. Dan understands the struggle that Bill is having, but he's still annoyed that Bill is selling a different product without even notifying the company. While working together, Bill starts getting suspicious of Dan's look, and he then asks his wife if she thinks that Dan looks familiar. They couldn't be sure, so Bill asks Dan if he's maybe the brother of the CEO. Dan, not wanting to blow his cover, answers that he doesn't know what they're talking about, but after a few moments, he gets uncomfortable lying to their faces, so he reveals his true identity.
Hard to stand there and lie directly to someone, so I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to break my cover. Well, it is me, by the way.
He then tells them that he was unhappy with them selling other products, and they tell him that the only reason they're doing this is because their business was failing, and they even had to take out a loan to keep the business running, and they didn't have money for the month's rent as well. They also inform him that they did try to reach out to corporates, but they were ignored, and Dan is shocked to hear this and apologizes for letting them down, and he tells them that he'll help them out and gives them an appointment for the end of the week. For his next job, he travels to Broomall, Pennsylvania to work as an assistant manager.
I'm in Broomall, Pennsylvania. I'm here to train with the baker.
He gets up super early to meet up with Marquez, and he teaches him how to make the pretzels. Dan knows how to make the perfect pretzel, but he didn't want to blow his cover, so he purposefully starts making mistakes and lets Marquez correct him.
I've twisted millions of pretzels in my day, so I do know how to make perfect pretzels. I don't want to get busted again. The next one will be better, you know?
After their first shift, Marquez's 2 daughters come to the shop and say hi to him before going to school. Dan learns that Marquez works very long long hours so he can support his family, but this means that he doesn't get to see his daughters very much. Dan also learns that Marquez is thinking of quitting his job because he's got a better offer from another company. Marquez is very ambitious and wants to own his own pretzel franchise store, but he doesn't see that happening with this company, so he's thinking about leaving. For his next job, Dan travels to downtown Philadelphia to work as a delivery man.
Today I'm in downtown Philadelphia. I'm here today to train undercover making pretzel deliveries.
He meets up with Gino and he takes him on the road and they make deliveries around the city. Gino's a very hardworking guy who doesn't miss the delivery time, and Dan also sees that he has a great relationship with his customers.
Gino is not a huge guy, and for him to walk around the city all day carrying those pretzels, I was pretty impressed.
On their break, Dan learns that Gino's drowning in debt acquired by his student loans, and he's working extra hours to be able to pay for it. For his last job, Dan travels to New Jersey again to work as the mascot for the company, Philly E.
Today I'll be working undercover in Absecon, New Jersey.
He meets up with Billy, who shows him how to do the mascot dance, and Dan then gets into the costume and starts doing the dance as well. He starts off being a little stiff as he wasn't fully comfortable in the mascot suit, but he gets looser as time goes on. On their break, Dan learns that Billy's a college student and wants to be a police officer, but since he has to support his family, he works 2 jobs while going to school. And finally, Dan's undercover time comes to an end, and he invites his employees to reveal his true identity. So hey guys, if you're loving this episode, just wait for the next boss who's gonna reward an ambitious employee with a $20,000 check and a franchise spot of their own. But for now, back to the episode at hand. First to find out Dan's true identity was Billy, and he tells him that he was a great trainer and gives him $10,000 so he can train other mascots. He then gives him $20,000 so he can pay for school and also help his family.
This is definitely gonna change my life. My parents are just gonna be proud. Thank you.
Next in was Gino, and he tells him that he had a great time with him, and then tells him that he's bought new loading docks so delivery workers can have an easier time loading the products. Lastly, he offers to pay for his student loan debts so he can have a fresh start.
I really hope you follow your dreams.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next in was Bill, and Dan first apologizes and tells him that he'll test the pretzel rolls, and if they are liked, they will be implemented everywhere. He then offers to send him a business trainer from corporate so he can help them out. He also then gives him a brand new delivery car and offers to pay their rent for the next year.
I want to buy you a brand new delivery van, and I'm gonna wrap it with the Philly Pretzel Factory logo so everybody in town knows who you are.
Last in was Marquez, and he tells him that the store that he was working at was struggling before he started working there, and he then tells him that he doesn't want to lose him and offers him his own franchise, and on top of that he gives him $50,000 for his daughter's tuition.
We have a new kiosk version of our stores. I'm gonna put up all the money and open up a business together.
Let us now follow our next boss, the founder and president of Rocket Fizz, Robert Powles.
And I'm the co-founder and president of the Rocket Fizz Soda Pop and Candy Shops.
Headquartered in California, Rocket Fizz is the largest candy and soda pop franchise in America. They sell thousands of candy variety and hundreds of soda pop flavors, and this company reconnects people with old, cherished childhood memories. Rocket Fizz specializes in old-fashioned and hard-to-find candy that reminds people of their childhood. They also sell more than 500 types of sodas and do celebrity-printed sodas which are popular. Robert came up with the idea for Rocket Fizz when he was on the road trip with his friend Ryan, but they didn't really have the money to open up the business, and they got rejected from 13 banks when they tried to get a loan, so they went to Asia and started importing and selling fake dog poop, which made them enough money to open their first store. Now Rocket Fizz bottles 240,000 bottles a month, and they have 48 stores in 18 states. Robert wants to go undercover because Rocket Fizz is growing really fast, and he hasn't been able to connect with the people working in the stores. He'll be going undercover as Leary, a failed retailer competing on a reality show to win his own store. For his first job, he travels to Vista, California to work as a sales associate.
Today I'm meeting a sales associate at a Rocket Fizz location here in Vista, California.
He meets up with Kim, and she first teaches him how to operate the cash register, and Robert sees the cash register is very old and in need of an upgrade. He also struggles while trying to use it and miscalculates the price.
$9.72.
$9.72? Okay, I overpaid you. I appreciate the honesty here.
They next pack gift baskets and then go outside and give out the baskets and promote the company. While Robert learns that Kim is going to college so she can become a sign language interpreter, she reveals to him that she has a mentally challenged brother and she wants to be able to communicate with him properly. For his next job, he travels to Lone Pine, California to work in the bottling plant.
Today, I'm at the Rocket Fizz bottling plant near Lone Pine, California. I'll be working with our Rocket Fizz bottling operations manager.
He meets up with Ben and he tells him how to work the machines, and he then shows him how to load up empty bottles.
Alright, so you gotta do just give it a quick boom. Okay. Take it up. See, and just make sure they don't fall. Next thing.
And gives the rein to Robert, but when Robert tries to do it, he messes up a lot and the bottles start falling on the escalator. Next they go to the packing area and Ben shows him how to pack the filled up bottles. Robert then tries to follow his lead, but this time he was too slow and the bottles start stacking on the escalator, which causes a jam.
Oh! Can you stop? I broke some boxes.
Hey, you're jammed.
And they then start falling and breaking on the ground. This forces Ben to shut off the bottling machine and end their shift early. On their break, Robert learns that Ben works 7 days a week because the company's ordering more than the bottles can produce in a day, so he works on his free day to keep up with the demand. For his next job, Robert travels to Tampa, Florida to work with a franchise owner.
I'm at Rocket Fizz in Tampa, Florida. Today I'll be working with franchise owner Marianne.
He meets up with Marianne and she teaches him how to check inventory and record new products. While working the job, Robert sees that their inventory system is very outdated and time-consuming, and she tells him that the old system is very bad and reveals to him that it takes her all day just to record the inventories.
And then once you get your price, you push it shut.
The candy's old-fashioned, but our pricing system seems to be as old-fashioned as the candy.
The company had promised a new system, but it did not come yet, so she was stuck with this problem. Marianne then leaves him with the inventory to deal with the incoming customers and work on the other issues, and Robert spends all his shift working one job. For his last job, Robert travels to Camarillo, California to work in a Rocket Fizz warehouse.
I'm here today in Camarillo, California at the Rocket Fizz warehouse where we ship out our taffy bins, all of the wood that we use in our stores.
He meets up with Daniel, who first shows him how to stack boxes, and Robert then tries to do the job, but he hadn't done a labor job for so long and he gets tired quickly.
Halfway, it doesn't sound too good. I was not sweating bullets, I was sweating hand grenades. I was getting my butt handed to me.
Mission complete.
Daniel then shows him how to drive a forklift, but Robert again struggles to control it, and since there was a truck waiting for the products, Daniel takes over and finishes the job. On their break, Robert learns that Daniel has a wife who's suffering from lupus, and he reveals to him that she almost died from the disease and that Daniel has been working hard to cover her high medical bills.
I almost lost her last year, bro.
From lupus?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry.
And finally, Robert's undercover time comes to an end and he invites his employees to reveal his true identity. First in was Marianne. Robert tells her that she was an amazing owner and points out that the inventory system was holding her back, and he tells her that he's upgrading the system and then offers her a fully paid family vacation.
I'm just so shocked. And the best part of the whole thing is he's gonna do a soda. My brother's picture on it.
Next in was Ben, and he thanks him for his dedication to his work, and then tells him that he's adding new machines and gives him $20,000 to help him financially.
This is insane. I cannot even believe it. It's crazy. I feel like I'm gonna be worry-free, honestly. I never knew what that felt like.
Next in was Kim, and he tells her that he's replacing all the cash registers and then gives her $20,000 for her college tuition and reveals to her that after she finishes school, she'll be getting her own franchise.
Well, at first I just loved my job, but now Rocket Fizz has literally made it so I can pursue my dreams, which I didn't think was gonna happen.
And last but not least was Daniel, and he tells him that he was a great employee, and he offers to put his wife on a bottle and give the sale profits to him, and then gives him $25,000 and a brand new car.
I'm very grateful for Rob, what he's doing for me. Actually, he's doing for my family.
And that is how today's episode of Undercover Boss comes to an end.